Okay, well, good morning, friends. Welcome to a new season. So excited to get started on 2024. Just going to kind of hang out here for a second while I go through kind of what we're going to do. But it's kind of crazy this year. I keep a journal. I started keeping a journal about 5 years ago, something like that. And every year that I've wrote in this journal for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years have all been snow or really, really cold temperatures. Well, this year, the last couple weeks have been in the 60s and 70s, for sure 50s for like a month. We had a little bit of a trace of snow last week and it was gone by like 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I still gonna pump the brakes a little bit. I'm not gonna get too carried away, but this is the earliest I've ever pulled back stuff and got rid of a lot of the dead. And that's what we're gonna do today. I wanna go ahead and start kind of cleaning up. You can see in the background there's some sedum and some of the grasses and whatnot. I want to kind of start pulling that back. I'll still leave the leaves if you're new to gardening and you kind of have you're trying to find your way through this whole deal. I like to just kind of keep stuff there because there's a lot of different critters and whatnot inside and sheltering inside the leaves and some of the dead foliage. So I try not to pull back too much too early because again, we have such couple months here in our zone 6A here in Kansas. We still have a lot of opportunity where we could receive snow, and we might not have, you know, very much cold come through. It just depends on how this whole thing shakes out during the season. Typically we can have a lot of weeks where we're in the 60s and 70s, and then we could have one weekend where it comes through and we have a foot of snow, and then it quickly goes away, and then it kind of kicks off the season. But I do have a lot of projects this season that I'm wanting to work on. A lot of things that we're going to do differently. Those of you who have been following us, there is Marley and there is Willow. Sadly, if you follow me on Instagram, we lost Bella, and she'd been with us for about 10 years. If you remember, Moxie Gardens is named after our boxer who we brought into our family shortly after we moved here. Sorry about the train in the background. It's so calm and so nice. You're going to hear birds and trains and probably a lot of dogs. Anyway, so we lost Moxie shortly after we moved in, and she kind of helped transition our family here. You know, when the kids were little, they wanted a pet, and so we brought Moxie into our lives, and she shortly passed away after that, unfortunately. And so that's how the name came about with Moxie Gardens. And then we brought Bella into our lives, and she was with us for about 10 years. And unfortunately, we lost her last month. And like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that kind of information come through. Such a tough deal owning pets. They become so much more. Anyways, I'm not going to go down that path, right? So anyway, so that's my son's dog who's moving out soon. So she will be going. So it'll be just Willow and my wife and I, and whichever other kids decide to stay in the house. But anyway, this project we did last year, that was a fun project, and it really kind of helped propel this channel a little bit because I don't know, it's just a lot of comments and a lot of feedback on that they really like that. That used to be an actual place where we had pond in the background, and it was built up probably about 3 feet in the air, and we had a bunch of koi in it, and we moved the koi into the pond and took that down because we put in the sidewalk. And here is that sidewalk. If you remember, I used to have all kinds of different variables. Remember, I am not a landscaper, or don't even try to pretend. I don't even try to pretend to be anything other than learning every day at gardening. I really don't have any kind of background in any horticulture or anything like that. So I'm losing stuff as much as I'm bringing it in, and I'm just doing a little bit better now. But this whole backyard used to be nothing. So no trees, no fencing, nothing like that. If you've been with me, you know that. I won't go into details. Anyway, moving on, we had a whole bunch of different things for our stepway and different unique ways as the garden kept developing. This all used to be grass, so little by little we just kind of transitioned. And then one day just woke up and I had a hodgepodge of different paths throughout the garden. This was one of the areas. I used to have that brick all through the landscape. But yeah, so one thing led to another, and I decided I wanted to kind of make it more cohesive and a little bit more safe for individuals to come to the garden. If you're wondering what these two boxes are, that's the electrical boxes. There's one reason I didn't want to buy this home, because those electrical boxes, I wasn't thinking about landscaping or doing anything like that. It was just kind of an eyesore. So that's how we ended up in this home, and then I ended up kind of just boxing those off, and I don't even really think the city would prefer me to do that. So I'm taking those out this year, and I'm just going to put some ordinary fabric, what do you call it, some camo fabric that you would get for somebody who was hunting or whatnot. There goes a rabbit back there. But this spot right here was the gazebo last year. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew last season, and so I thought maybe I would get to doing what we were going to do back there. But I will tell you this, it's going to be pretty remarkable. In my head, it's going to be remarkable what we're going to put back there. So we'll see soon. Moving right along, I want to get all this kind of cleaned up. I'm probably going to try to tackle all this today. This is another bed that I put up. Some would call it a berm, the way I built it up. However you want to, whatever you want to call it. It's about 3 feet off, no, probably about 2 feet off the ground, higher than the other, maybe 16 inches. Higher than the rest of the level of the landscape. You can see all the little different things that I've done throughout the landscape. I love old bikes. I love the history of thinking that, you know, this bike was rode by somebody's great-grandparents one day, and here it is sitting in our yard, and I've gone through that kind of conversation before. Here's an old fire pit that somebody threw out or fell out in the backside of their truck, perhaps on a dirt road. I picked it up and now make it a kind of like a planter. I've got some birdhouses that I just set down on the ground for the littles when they come through the garden, so they can have stuff at their level to keep them attentive. Let's see, got an old wheelbarrow here you can kind of see in the background. Just trying to get you more familiar with what's going on in the garden. Got some carex around here and some heuchera that will get cleaned up and help kind of clean up the season. I've got some more things. I've got a lot to add into this garden right here. I'm going with some trees here soon, and I don't want to give it away too much. I want to keep you entertained. But yeah, overall the garden has kind of taken on a mind of its own. You can see there, that all used to not be there. The moon gate, I had my brother make. I gave him the dimensions and everything, so that moon gate right there kind of propelled the idea of what I wanted to do in the middle here. And you can see the little grassy area where that's the only grass. This whole yard used to be full of grass, so it was a lot to maintain. You're saying, yeah, you took out all that grass to maintain something different, but you get to add a lot of pretty in here, and it's taken on kind of a mind of its own. I love all the critters. There's birds like we've never had birds before, and there's rabbits, of course, squirrels and stuff. I'm not saying I like everything that comes into the garden, but you see all these wooden crates back here. This is kind of do you guys have that in your yard where you have kind of a like a junk spot? You just kind of pitch everything to the side. Well, all these wooden crates are going in that tin, and that's all going to be something soon. Of course, all the planters and stuff I just kind of toss off to the side, and just kind of keep it all just right there, and it's kind of my pit. Anyway, we're going to get started here pretty quick. I just want to get you familiarized with the backyard and show you the landscape a little bit. Hopefully the sun's not coming through there too much. You can see the shed that I've built. Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and I'm so excited to get all this pulled back. A lot of the leaves I'll just leave right there. Like I said, I don't want to kind of disturb too much. I did dig up the other day, and 2 snakes were in that spot. Oh, there's that rabbit. See the rabbit? Yep. My dogs are going to go crazy here in a second. But yeah, we did a lot of things last year. The sidewalk was one of them. We put in this working fountain. Of course, it's off right now because the water will freeze and the pump will go bad. So yeah, that was fun. If you can hear in the background, the girl's seeing the rabbits run through. So We put in these planters. I took out the what we would call tropicals or house plants, and took those inside, but the rest I just kind of let go to sleep and or die off, and then we'll start all over again. One real bad thing that happened that I wasn't excited about, my wife and I had come out here not too long ago, and haven't even had the heart to call my brother and tell him, but we came out to the garden just to kind of check on it and see how everything's going. Here in the Midwest, it just stays cold and nasty, and you kind of just get a break from it. Here's my work zone. I got everything prepared for me to get into the garden. But yeah, I came out in the garden pond. You can see all the bricks and stuff in the background. This garden never looks this unkept, and I came out here and all the fish were on top of the landscape fabric, or the tarp underneath, and it had bubbled up and it was clear. You can still see it. That's right there. That's the bottom. That should be on the bottom. And anyway, I don't know, because of the I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, all the fish were on top, and we just caught it too late. We ran down to Orchlands, and we picked up this pan around here without making you too dizzy. Picked up this tank, and we took as many fish in there as possible, and I think it was just too overwhelming and shocked them all. And so that's the frustrating part, right? You own pets, no matter what, there's something that's inevitably going to happen, whether it's cost or heartbreak. So if you're brand new to landscaping or pet owning and you're not sure if you want to, I would do your research, because it can have a devastating toll on you financially and emotionally. So anyway, I've talked a lot, kind of got you familiar with the garden. If you're brand new and just seeing this and want to know if this is even a channel worth following, you can go back and look at some other videos. I hope to have you along, but we got a lot to get ready for this spring. I've got a lot of new projects we're going to pump into this garden, and I got a really cool lighting project I want to do, something very unique, and we'll just see how it turns out. So let's go get some stuff cleaned up. So if you remember, we have to use these waste bags, plastic waste bags, or paper waste bags, and that's where you get all your clippings and your trash. You throw them in there, and then you set them alongside the road, and they take them off. I won't get rid of any leaves, I don't get rid of any of the leaves. I've got a shredder or a mulcher, sorry, and I'll come through this whole garden and I'll mulch it down, and then I'll spread it out and get it off of some of the areas I don't need the clippings, and then add it to some areas that I want it to get into the ground and continue to make this this surface in this area where all my trees and shrubs and plants are thriving, to continue to thrive. A lot of these branches come off of these trees above us. I like to keep them. I'll break them down, and then eventually I'll make something out of them. I kind of like whimsy, and I like a lot of whimsy actually in a garden. The more rust, the more different. I kind of tend to move towards those type of gardens. So I like the unique in everyone's style, but I particularly like a lot of rust, a lot of old barns, a lot of old areas, and a lot of storytelling. So eventually down the road, I have enough of these. There's tons all over the yard, but I can make anything I want out of these, and that will be the plan down the road. So anyways, I'll just go through here and I'll start to clean up a lot of things. I've got some of my tools here. Make sure you clean these off from last year, or after each use, really. If you're brand new to gardening, you should always clean your cutting devices, because you can pass on disease, and you don't want to do that. Don't get the season started off in the wrong direction. All right, let's get started. to me, this is one of the best plants to cut back. It's the most satisfying. The sedum, autumn joy. You couple that with all the birds in the background. Now, me saying listen to the birds, inevitably there's going to be a dog, a train, a plane, something. But yes, one of the most satisfying plants for me. Do you have a favorite plant you like to cut back that just satisfies your needs? You just one of those things that you're just like, oh yeah, that's the best one, because you can crack them and pop them and it makes the noise, and then it's all satisfying when it's empty. Yeah, one of my best. Another good thing about sedum, it's so easy to take care of it. It definitely doesn't like a lot of water. So if you got dry spot, it loves the harsh areas. You can cut it back mid-season and it's forgiving. It pops back up. They call that Chelsea chop. And last year I did not, so they flopped like crazy towards the end of the season. So this year, hopefully I can be reminded as the season goes on. I kind of tend to get busy with work and gets away from me, but yeah, really love this plant because it's just no fuss. And just like that, with all the popping and cracking and easy pullback of the die off, it's pretty much ready to go. Catmint smells so good. Oh, it's so good. I was in the alliums earlier and I could smell onions. It just smells so good. What a great day. I've already had to strip down into a shirt. It's so weird for February. Like I said, all those previous years, last 4 or 5 years, it's just been nothing but cold and snow, so we've had it straight, non-stop good weather for a while. It scares me. It absolutely scares me, because everything's going to start swelling up and getting excited, and be chasing buckets around this yard on hostas and every bit of everything else. So, yeah, give and take, right? Just extends the season, I guess. Okay, the day is complete. 8 bags later, check it out. We've kind of got just in the center section. I'll just kind of wrap it around here, but we just kind of pulled everything back a little ways and kind of got it ready. Aren't those wheels, pretty awesome. Again, rusty garden is, I don't know what you would call it, but I just love rust in a garden and old buildings. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. We got a lot of things going on. If you're brand new to the channel, we'll go over the water hose deal. I use that as a drip hose, so if you have extra water hoses and you're getting ready to clean out your garage or your shed where they lie, don't throw those out. You can use those as a drip line. We'll go over that later on as the days progress. But I really kind of just wanted to show you the way I start to pull back the garden, and really this is so therapeutical for me to get out here and get involved in the garden again. It's what, late October, November, starts to wind down and around here at my zone 6A, and kind of get a break. But once Christmas is over, I'm kind of turning the page and I'm ready to jump back into gardening and doing the things that make me happy. So it was nice to kind of get this warmer weather in February. I would tell you though, I'm not 100% sure I should be pulling back as much as I am, just because I am worried about the effects that if any really cold snaps come through. I think I had -10 or -8 like 2 years ago in my journal, so could be anything, right? So Mother Nature does her thing and we just kind of adapt. So I didn't go too hardcore, didn't pull back as many leaves as I would traditionally do, and I won't do any of the hydrangeas. I just won't. I'll just hold off and wait till they start to bud up. The trees are budding up, everything's kind of, the honeysuckles budding up, leafing out. The ferns are starting to kind of come to life. I've seen a lot of the hostas break ground, alliums all over the place. Of course, the Shasta daisies really never go away. They kind of just, they're just kind of there. I've seen the roses. You can see some roses here on the flanking each side of this bridge. They are leafing out quite dramatically. So again, Mother Nature will have her hand in it and when it needs to come back. But you can see here, I've got a long ways to go. I've got all of this over here. I hate videotaping when I'm in it, but there's a lot to still do. But I got the inner side done, and so that's super exciting, and I'm way ahead of schedule, so that's fun. I'm thinking I'm still going to do a garden tour. I just has a little bit of hesitation. I'll know more soon, but legally I'm trying to make sure that I wouldn't be held accountable if somebody got hurt on here. So we're doing some questioning and stuff like that. But if if I'm not able to go and do an actual open the gates and let everybody in, I might do a private a private tour where I can either be with you or allow you into the garden, and so you can draw your own inspiration. And I love to go out places and look at gardens. I don't care how insignificant or how grand they are. I love gardening. Like I said, it's very therapeutical for me. So maybe you're watching this and this is what you get, and who knows, maybe you're going to grab some ideas for the season ahead of us. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling on, but I just wanted to kind of let everybody know I'm first video of 2024, and I'm so excited to bring in the new season. So that being said, we will talk to you soon. I'll pump out several of these coming up, if the weather allows, and we'll continue to make progress, and I can't wait to share with some projects that we're going to do this season. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.